Welcome to A Few Minutes with the CEO. My name is Al O'Grady, and for the next few minutes, we'll be talking to the new president of Arianne Resources, Mr. Jim Cowley. Arianne Resources is an active mineral exploration company with interests in Canada and Mexico. It has a number of gold, base metals, and industrial mineral projects, but it also has a world-class phosphorus and titanium deposit in Lac qui Parle, Quebec. And that's where we will be focusing our discussion for the next few minutes. Arianne Resources trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol DAN, as in David, Alpha, Nancy. Mr. Cowley, thanks very much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Jim, this is the first time that you and I have talked. First of all, congratulations on becoming the new president of Arianne. Why don't you take a moment right now just to tell us a little bit about your background and why you're ideally suited for this role?
Well, my background is engineering. I'm a metallurgist, but I've also had a fair bit of financial training. And my background in 33 years is primarily in business development. Our project up in Lac qui Parle, of course, is a phosphate titanium project, and it is in the early exploration stages where we've now proven up a pretty significant resource there, 350 million tons roughly. It is a really nice quality phosphate. This is the kind of work I've been doing, a lot of my career.
Okay, let's talk more about that Lac qui Parle project. For the sake of our listening audience, the date of today's recording, Wednesday, November 9th. This has got to be an exciting opportunity for you because Arianne had a great press release that came out back on yesterday, November the 8th, and it pertains to a feasibility report on your Lac qui Parle project that you had just alluded to. Walk us through this and really tell us what it all means, not only to the company, but for its shareholders as well.
The pre-feasibility study was done by a company called Medchem Canada. It's a well-known group in the Quebec area. It's worked on a number of different phosphate and base and precious metal projects in the area. Their study was really to dig into our project a little deeper. We have expanded the resource significantly through a lot of drilling. And their task was to take that drilling and develop a mine plan from it, whereby they could extract the ore, process it in a facility to be built on site, and then produce a high-grade phosphorus rock concentrate. We call apatite as the mineral. It's this mineral that is a building block of the fertilizer business. The apatite concentrate is reacted with sulfuric acid to produce a phosphoric acid and then reacted with ammonium to produce a monoammonium or diammonium phosphate, which is then blended with potash, and there you have your NPK fertilizer. It's a building block of society, if you will. You have to have productive land, and that productive land comes from keeping the nutrients in the soil. What Medchem did was they looked at this drill results that we had, and they've designed now a mine and a processing facility and all the infrastructure to extract the ore, process it, produce the concentrate, get the concentrate down to Dolbeau, Mistassini, which is about 210 kilometers south of the mining property itself. And there we would load it onto rail for either distribution in North America by rail, or we would head east and go to the port of Saguenay, where it would be loaded onto ships, and it could be supplied for markets in Florida or Europe or even India.
What exactly is the market potential for Arianne with this?
The resource that we have now of 348 million tons at 6.5% is capable of producing over a 25-year mine life, roughly 47 to 50 million tons of apatite concentrate. The market in North America today that it imports about 3 million tons of phosphorus rock concentrate. So we think that we could supply easily 3 million tons to the market, either in North America or Europe or, as I said, Asia, just depending on the production level that we choose. And that's really what this pre-feasibility study was all about.
Right. Any other projects like that in North America?
There are not many. There's another one in Ontario and another one down in Idaho in North America, and I think there's even one in Utah. They're at very early stages of development or really even pre where we are at the moment, where we've had a pre-feasibility study now complete.
Okay, you outlined some of the things that you'll be doing. Maybe give us a timeline. What's going to be happening in the next 3 to 6 months and maybe even the next 1 to 2 years down the road?
The next month, we will be producing the actual study will come out and be posted on our website. By the end of the first quarter, what we expect Metchem to have done is completed the sensitivity analysis on a larger mine plan. We've done the work now on a 2 million ton mine, 2 million ton per year of apatite concentrate mine, and now we're going to have them look at a 3 million ton a year mine because the economics on that, on a pre-tax basis, will increase the net present value of this property at an 8% discount rate to close to $1 billion. So, and the existing resource that we have now will support a mine life of at least 17 years, and that is what would be the life at 3 million tons per year. Plus, we have a lot of prospective mineralized zones that are very close to the mill area. And if we do a bit more drilling and add a few more, 50 to 100 million tons more, which is actually currently in the inferred resource category, then we would easily be able to get this mine to really world-class standards, 25-year life, more than $1 billion of pre-tax NPV value. In any case, once we get that complete by around the end of the first quarter, we will then make some decisions about going to a full-blown feasibility study. Now, the design level and the estimation level on this pre-feasibility study is probably within 20% of where it will come out. The objective of a feasibility study is actually to do a lot more detailed engineering. It's a little bit more expensive. It'll take a little bit longer. We would start it probably in the second quarter, I would hope, and then, it could take 6 months to 9 months to complete that. So we probably would not complete that feasibility study until, I'm going to say, late 2012.
Okay, Jim, gold always seems to get the headlines, especially with junior resource companies. You never really hear about a TSX Venture junior resource company being involved with phosphate. It seems like you've got the best kept secret. Do you like staying under the radar?
Well, I'm not certain that's really true, Al. I don't know if you remember the big brouhaha about Phoscan when the Chinese Australians were trying to take it over. I think it was BHP from Australia, and I think it put the whole potash thing on the map, where so people started to realize that fertilizer products are absolutely essential to improving the productivity of our existing arable land, and that's a global issue. We've got more people to feed every year, and we need to have more productive use of our land. So the potash story got a lot of play over the last couple of years, and people haven't realized that yet that phosphates, the major exporter, is in the Middle East, and there's quite a bit going on there these days in terms of, I'm not going to say social unrest, but certainly social change is underway. And as a result, a total dependence on the Middle East for, phosphate, similar to the way we are with oil, is really not a good thing. So I think a lot of the North American and the Indian, fertilizer companies and even South American fertilizer companies are thinking that having North American supplies of this phosphate rock is a really good thing.
Okay, Jim, that's it as far as the formal questions are concerned. As always, my guest gets the last word. Any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to add right now?
These are exciting times for our company. This rock is just beautiful. It makes the best bits of fertilizer that people have seen. There's no impurities in it, so it doesn't have any hazardous materials that have to be deposited in the gypsum. It's just a very, very nice story. And it's wonderful to be associated with a resource that is going to directly benefit the health and welfare of the population globally. So, a lot of times we think about, if I'm producing gold, what does that really do for people? I mean, they can put it around their neck or they can put it in a vault, but it doesn't really help anyone. Phosphate is just a building block of nutrients of what we may grow. And if you can't grow it or mine it, well, you're not really creating any value. So I'm just really pleased to be associated with a fertilizer group and a resource like this and a bunch of people that in Quebec that are just wonderful.
Okay. On that note, Jim, I want to thank you very much for your time and sharing your thoughts with us about Arianne Resources.
Well, thank you for having me, Al. It's been a pleasure.
Okay. And Arianne Resources trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol DAN, as in David Alpha Nancy. And you've been listening to Mr. Jim Cowley, the new president of Arianne Resources, on A Few Minutes with the CEO, produced by RBL Communications. I'm Al O'Grady. Thanks very much for joining us.